the jaws of darkness to devour it up. So quick, bright things come to confusion.
In our final Oscar month episode, we're talking about Sing Sing, a fascinating collaborative film about the power of theater and art to rehabilitate, which blends real former inmates playing themselves with performances by Colman, Domingo, and Paul Raci, dramatizing real characters.
I mean, like every day we dealing with trauma, drama. Every day we got tragedy. I mean, I think population just might appreciate a comedy.
At Sing Sing Correctional Facility, a maximum security prison in Austin, New York, which was once known for being the terrifying, bleak prison that the state of New York's execution chamber, a group of prison inmates are participating in and helping run the Rehabilitation Through the Arts Program. Although it's not in the film, Rehabilitation Through the Arts was started in 1996 when a group of inmates at Sing Sing wanted help writing and putting on a play. The founder of the program, Catherine Vawkins, is not exactly a character in the movie, but she and her fellow RTA board members make a cameo in a scene where, to get new stage curtains, the inmates must pitch what they've been working on, and they pitch a very silly battle scene while the board members sit there in stony silence.
Thank you.
As well as the real supervisor of the prison, Michael Capra, who plays himself. By now in 2025, RTA is spread to 10 prisons in the New York City area as far north as Fishkill, where they filmed a lot of the interior scenes in Sing Sing. And they've expanded past theater to doing writers' workshops, visual art, and music. The movie Sing Sing mainly takes place 20 years ago, in 2005, where it's already an established program. Inmates at Sing Sing put on plays, sometimes ones they write, sometimes ones written by the playwright Brett Buell, who was a co-producer on the movie and is played by Paul Raci, and sometimes things like Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream.
You know what it won't be.
No more Shakespeare.
I like Shakespeare.
We do West Side Story. Not back to back.
Sacrifice.
Wizard of Oz.
August Wilson's good.
Why don't we do one of Divine G's plays?
One of the things I found particularly striking about Sing Sing is that it doesn't seek to show some program where a talented instructor shows inmates their true potential. It's largely run and managed by the inmates themselves, particularly Divine G, played by Colman Domingo, and his best friend, Mike. They bring in new cast members and interview them. Divine G often writes the plays, and the decision-making process is very democratic. And it's a serious program. The guys participating in it are there because they're passionate and want to put on good theater performances for their fellow inmates.
I've been trying to catch you in the yard, man. It's been kind of hard, you know. And basically, I wanted to know, would you mind signing, this book, man?
Oh, man.
The real John Divine G. Whitfield is in the movie, asking Colman Domingo's Divine G for an autograph. His story is tragic and infuriating, and lends itself to Colman Domingo's great performance. Divine G wanted to be an actor and went through the Manhattan Alternative Public High School, the High School of Performing Arts, right before it closed down and merged with a different public high school. But in 1988, during the tough on crime era, he was accused of a murder that he was eventually able to prove he didn't commit just because it happened outside of his building, when a drug deal went wrong and a guy ended up getting shot. He spent almost 25 years in prison, many of them with the evidence of his innocence not taken seriously by the parole board. Despite finding evidence, including audio recordings that show he's innocent of murder, he still has a homicide charge on his record even as he's paroled, and he hopes that Sing Sing's success will help open the case again and overturn his conviction.
It's been next to impossible for us to authenticate the validity. The person who made it is deceased, and we can't get the DA's office to return our calls.
I don't know how.
You understand that this creates a complicated legal issue.
Divine G helped write the story and screenplay for the movie. He has written countless plays and 13 novels, along with his fellow former inmate, Clarence Divine I. Maclin, who does also star as himself. A brilliant but sometimes difficult and antagonistic guy in prison for dealing drugs, who's having a harder time shaking off the criminal prisoner mentality.
You don't get to fucking tell me what I need in prison. You don't get to do that. Nobody do. Nobody take care of me. Nobody do nothing for me or mine. So don't tell me what to do, and don't bring me in no fucking dark corners no more.
Their friendship, at least in the film, comes slowly and can be extremely tense. Apart from Colman Domingo as Divine G and his best friend Mike, played by Sean San Jose John San Jose is Colman Domingo's best friend. They've been collaborating for 30 years, and he works at Edith Productions, the Domingo's production company. But the real Mike passed away inside of Sing Sing without getting his freedom. The rest of the inmates are playing themselves and are former members of RTA. David Giroudi, Patrick Griffin, Mosi Eagle, James Williams, Sean Johnson, Dario Pina, Miguel Valentin, JJ Velasquez, Pedro Cotto, Camilo Lavasso, and Cornell Alston.
And then you sort of like break it down, you know, like how you would eat an elephant. You wouldn't swallow that thing whole, right? You would just take every little bite, and then it all makes more sense. I think I learned some of that in the law library, you know what I mean? Some of these cases are so in-depth, you know, especially like preparing for my clemency hearing. I mean, I gotta like break it all down.
The movie was co-produced by Colman Domingo, Clint Bentley, and the film's director, Greg Kwedar. Bentley and Kwedar co-wrote it with Divine G and Divine I. Colman Domingo is incredible as Divine G, and his performance is both powerful and sad.
You tell us to trust the fucking process, right? Well, the process is fucked.
Well, I think we need more than 5, Brent, for him to learn his fucking lines.
After a decade in RTA, this was a rough patch, not just because of frustrating parole hearings, but because a program Divine G helped to co-found is growing and he has trouble giving up control, as well as losing his best friend Mike to a brain aneurysm, which sets off a bad spiral. And it's understandable. In prison, theater is all these guys have, so of course that's what's going to suffer from Divine G's emotional turmoil. When Clarence Maclin, who I can't stop myself from reminding everyone, is playing himself, enters the program, it adds a slightly antagonistic and tense force to the mix. Anybody who's been part of a creative collaboration, I think, that's used to feeling like a leader of the collaboration, and suddenly has to deal with someone else with ideas and a different vision, should be able to relate to that. It's a testament to these two men, Divine G and Divine I. They're able to take a situation like that and bond through it.
Sure did.
Now we're doing a comedy.
And I'm excited.
And yet you're auditioning for the only dramatic role in the whole play.
Comedy's very difficult, man. I don't want to get up on that stage and get yelled off the stage, bro. Hey, look at my boys right here.
But it also shows that prison can be a very intricately crafted world by someone who's desperately trying to get through it. Sing Sing handles that without judgment. Since the Sing Sing prison is still very much in use, the exterior shots were taken outside of the actual prison, but the interior shots were in the now shuttered Downstate Correctional Facility, which closed in 2022. Downstate Correctional Facility was a maximum security prison opened in 1979 to handle the overflow of prisoners from New York City in Fishkill, New York, a couple miles from my dentist's office. Other shots for the prison scenes were taken at Beacon High School across the river. Insert a joke about the school-to-prison pipeline. Hudson Valley Film Commission, my local film commission, which helps with film and TV shoots in the Mid-Hudson region between Westchester County up to the capital, including acting as a networking hub, helping producers qualify for the state and local tax incentives and location scouting, helped to produce Sing Sing, finding the abandoned prison as a location, hiring mostly local crew members and background actors from around Dutchess and Orange counties, both to save money and to shake things up on set. Kwedar and Bentley chose to pay everyone from the PAs to the stars to themselves an equal living wage. They decided to do this through offering equity, a certain point percentage on the film in shares. It would save money on the highest paid stars and talent, usually the biggest expense on an indie film, who would have to take a pay cut, but the crew, production team, post-production team, and most of the actors would receive more. They first did this on their first film, Jockey, in 2021, offering 30 people shares on a movie that made $120,000. Sing Sing, on the other hand, is a $2 million film that made $5.8 million at the box office and had 80 shares. But even before that, since A24 bought distribution rights, they were able to pay money on all the shares. Kwedar and Bentley have decided to launch a company, Ethos, that will seek to do this on more films. They're not the only ones exploring the equity option. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon recently launched Artist Equity, nothing so radical as paying everyone the same, but attempting to get more people in production paid equity shares. Sing Sing was also the first movie to ever be opened simultaneously at both movie theaters and prisons. Sing Sing got snubbed for Best Picture. Unfortunately, it deserved a nomination, but is up for Best Actor for Colman Domingo, Best Original Song, and Best Adapted Screenplay.
It's like Hamlet. All he wants is Maid Marian, and he'll go against the whole Greek army, but to what end?
What? Oh, shit, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting how different this version of Hamlet is